Annoying 2019 car trends. Hey guys. Over the years, we've managed to live through the bling-bling phase of shiny, oversized rims, fast and furious wannabes with neon lights underneath the car, and even cars riced straight out of the factory. That said, there's always stuff to complain about, and 2019 is no exception. These are just my opinions, but it's a list of some of the dumber things going on in the industry. Let's get started. Oversized grills. Front grills are of course an integral part of car design, and there was once a time where they actually made sense. The grille would be large enough to accommodate the radiator. Huge engine, huge grille. Small engine, small grille. Fairly simple, really. The size and shape of the grille has slowly become an important design feature, however, as it's in a rather obvious place. It's helped cars stand out from the crowd as well. Some of the grills in 2019, however, are just comical and bear no relation to how much airflow is actually required. With the rise of electric cars and hybrids, why are grills still growing when the air requirements are shrinking? An example of this is the new BMW X7 with its characteristic BMW kidneys. They're so large that the whole front of the car looks stupid, in my opinion, of course. The new 2019 BMW 4 Series concept doesn't look much better either. Word on the street is that Chinese markets demand large grills for prestige purposes, but for all of us in the West, it's ruining BMW. Confusing sub-brands. It's always tough for car makers to fight competitors, keep their appearance fresh, and always have their brands innovating. That's exactly why we've seen the rise of niche sub-brands like DS Automobiles by Citroën or Cupra by Seat. More often than not, these sub-brands aren't really bringing new cars or technology to the marketplace, but just pretty much a different badge and slightly different trim options. In most cases, sub-brands are just different badges, higher prices, and often questionable marketing. In my opinion, I feel that the cars should do the talking, and sub-brands don't really need to exist. Another example of this is Polestar. Why be ashamed to call your car a Volvo? They're awesome and have great racing heritage too. Volvo Polestar works, just like BMW M and Mercedes AMG. But I guess the consumer research suggested that the sub-brands thing works. In-car Wi-Fi. In this day and age, almost everyone has mobile internet on their phones. Whether it's 3G or 4G, for most of us, mobile internet is fast enough to do everything. Why do manufacturers stubbornly try to push in-car Wi-Fi? Well, since they can. Wi-Fi technology is so common that it can easily be installed in cars, but this is really a solution looking for a problem. First, there's no real improvement in your internet experience, since the difference in speed and quality of the connection is not noticeable. If anything, your mobile internet will work better in most cases. Second, this feature may affect your privacy. If you connect your phone to your car's internet, then theoretically, manufacturers can obtain your social networks, emails, YouTube streams, favorite music, or your whereabouts. Performance trim options on regular cars. We all know and lust after the genuine BMW M, AMG, or even Golf R models. That said, the 2019 trend of trim options has gone a little too far. These days, you can buy cars that look almost identical to their performance siblings, but without any of the performance. The trim packages you can buy these days, which add spoilers, grills, different front and rear bumpers, bigger wheels and lowered suspension, have got a little too close to the actual performance versions if you ask me. Selling to image-conscious buyers, a lot of these cars are all show and no go. You end up with an AMG line Mercedes with a 1.6-litre engine, or the 1.6-litre Golf R line, which looks nearly identical to the genuine Golf R. Whilst they look cool, of course, for car people they're not ideal. Sporty trims are fine, just as long as the top-of-the-range car looks different enough to distinguish itself. Fake exhaust tips. Car companies in 2019 will do anything for design and appearance sake, even fake the exhaust tips to make the car look more aggressive than it actually is. I've noticed several car makers doing that recently, but Mercedes has got to be the worst culprit, especially on its SUV models. Apart from the AMG-tuned monsters, which need massive exhaust tips, all the other models appear to have double exhausts, but in fact just have a single pipe, which is hidden behind cool-looking plastic covers. When you look closer, you'll see that the shiny silver piece of plastic is not your racing-style exhaust tip, but just a style detail with no real purpose. Cars growing in size. For years now, cars have been growing steadily, and some once small vehicles have grown to the point that they're no longer recognizable. The best example of this is the new Volkswagen Polo Mark 6 introduced last year. The Polo has always been one of the smallest Volkswagens on offer and the perfect car for cities and young people. The new one, however, is almost the size of the Golf Mark 5, which makes it a proper family hatchback. Even though the cars are constantly growing, who keeps asking for this? If you're American, your parking spaces are much larger, so you might not understand. But in Europe, there are some cars that have grown so much that they no longer fit inside the legal space. Madness. The demise of coupés and three-doors. These days, why does every new car have to be a practical 5-door hatchback or SUV? Have you noticed that Ford didn't even bother releasing a 3-door version of the new Focus, or that the new Renault Clio only comes as a 5-door? It looks like the 3-door and 2-door market is now being reserved only for high-end models and premium brands. Whilst granted, 3-door cars always sold in much fewer numbers than their 5-door counterparts, there are still benefits to having such a car. 2 doors and 3 doors allows for the doors to be longer, setting the B-pillar back, which makes the cabin lighter and more airy, also aiding visibility. It also improves the looks, in my opinion, as the door handles and shut lines don't interfere with the profile of the car. Still though, sales don't lie, but it would be a shame to see them disappear even more so. So, there you are. What things annoy you about cars in 2019? Let me know in the comments, and as always, don't forget to like or dislike the video. Cheers!